And the question that I am going to be answering today is, TJ, what is the minimum deposit for a home loan for investment in South Africa? Well, my good friends, there is no one answer for this, but we are going to be today answering it from multiple scenarios so that we can all learn. And this is coming obviously out of my years and years of investing in real estate, and also us having the discussions here at the TJ Tribe, and you by commenting in the comment section, giving us your 2 cents, so that all of us as collective, a body of the tribe and young modern parents beginning to earn alternative income and just scaling it, we can all become better investors. If we are meeting for the first time, my name is TJ, your host, and I'm a former banker and founder here at the TJ Tribe. And I do business with a focus in student accommodation, flips, which is buy and sell, and coaching, with the hope that all of us as young, upcoming modern parents, we can be able to have passive income from real estate. Welcome to the channel. This is what we do on a Monday. We have a very short video where we talk about a pertinent question, or we talk about a very small thing at maximum around about 12 minutes. We talk about it, and bingo, we go out and make money. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the minimum deposit that is required. I'm going to speak about this minimum deposit from a person who is buying real estate for the first time, and they are doing this in their personal capacity, which lots of us have done in the past. I haven't met anybody who's not done this, meaning that you have bought properties in your personal name. My wife did it before she got married to I. She had her own personal property in her personal name. I had one, and when we got married, we had others. And my business partner, when I met her, she had a couple of properties in her personal name. I think she had about 8. And I can speak of maybe 10 of my very close friends who do real estate, or who started real estate within the last 10 to 15 years. And these people that I'm still in very close contact with, they have all started off this way. So this is a common mistake. And you see that from time to time, I just drop in here and I say this is a common mistake, which means that avoid it if you can. So buying real estate in your personal name, not a great idea. However, I do want to say that if you are buying real estate utilizing the bank's money, because this is where it's coming from, right? This person is asking this based on the fact that they've gone to the bank and the bank have said, what is the minimum deposit? So I want to answer this question in a number of ways. So I'm going to answer the first one very quickly and in and out. If you're buying a property and you're buying it cash, there isn't really a requirement for you to put in a deposit, because you can just show them to say, hey, I've got the money here, or my attorney has the money, and bingo, they will then ask the necessary paperwork for you to do that transaction. So you're buying a property, but this time around, this person is asking, what is the minimum deposit required for a home loan for property investment in South Africa? So it's a home loan that we are wanting to ask for. The second one, I just threw in that one because someone was going to answer me in the question, but TJ, what if we got cash? You know, I know my keyboard warriors. We love all keyboard warriors here, asking all questions because we will answer them right here. So, whoop, keyboard warriors, whoop, whoop. Right. Okay, so there we go, my good friends. Minimum deposit when you're buying a property using the bank's money, OPM, other people's money. What is the deposit? And if you were to Google this, Google is going to tell you anything for a first-time buyer would be anything between 10 to 20% dependent. I've done another video here where I've showcased that you can borrow money at the bank with actually a 0 deposit. It is possible, there's ways to do it, and we're going to connect that video in the description, and also you see it coming up. So when you finish watching this video, you can go and watch that video and make yourself clever. So now that we know that you can borrow money, other people's money, with within your personal capacity, and chances are the banks generally do not require a heavy deposit. They may, but they generally don't require a heavy deposit. Why is that so? Well, because you are in the deal, right? If it's any other entities, we see that the banks can give up to 100%, but in most cases, they always ask for a 10 to 20% deposit. TJ, can this be avoided? Yes, it can be. We'll dive into that right now, okay? Now, here's the thing. The possibility of doing it in your personal name, you can do it. We don't advocate for that here at the TJ Tribe. Why? Because there is no succession plan when you're buying properties in your personal name. TJ, what do you mean by succession plan? I mean that the day that you go and see Jesus, Jesus says, hey boy, come back home. I don't want your family now to be selling your property so that they can split the money. If you've got everything in a company, in a trust, chances are that it is just, the business is just going to continue. So all your loved ones will continue reaping the benefit. And by the way, there's another big brother that's called SARS. As and when you go and see Jesus, what is likely going to happen is that SARS will say, hey, you're passing on these properties to the next person. Where is my cut? And within that, those are called taxes, costs, and all of those things will need to be paid and distributed to SARS. So R1 million property does not translate into R1 million cash to your child or to your wife. It might translate into maybe 450,000, right? So do the investigations and check that yourself. So that's why we do not advocate you buying your property in your personal name. Secondly, if you're then buying it with a company, then that's amazing, or a trust. We are seeing that this is obviously as of the recording of this video, more and more banks asking for a 10% to 20%. However, if in your personal finances you do exactly what we are asked of you to do within the other video of managing your credit profile, the bank is likely going to give you 100%. So the medicine, the trick is in the preventative measure is within you managing your credit profile. Your credit profile is great, your affordability is great, the banks is likely going to give you 100%, which then means that minimum deposit becomes how much? Ooh, zero, my good friends. I was trying to put a zero. There's a zero, right? A big zero, big zero. There you go. A big zero, there you go, my friend, would be your minimum deposit. I've got a cool book that I do think that everyone who has never been a millionaire before, so if you don't have $1 million or you don't have assets that get you to R1 million, you want to be in this competition that we are going to be running in the month of this month. What do you need to do? At the bottom of the comments, all you need to do is type the word April, and then thereafter you comment something amazing, something that you have learned, or whatever it is. And that book that I am going to be sharing with you, for those that are going to be commenting and for those that are going to win, is my own very book that I wrote, which is called Be the First Millionaire in Your Family. So this is for you who have never been a millionaire before, and you're trying to figure out on how to become a millionaire. And I wrote this book after I realized that I did a couple of deals with a couple of strategies, and they got me to $1 million. And I was like, whoa, so it's actually quite easy to get to $1 million. And within that, it's secrets of how you can become a millionaire. So I do think that in many a times we ask these questions because we're seeing things differently. And if we're seeing things differently, yes, there is alternative answers. And here is your answer. Now, if you're a foreigner and you are in a different country and you're investing in South Africa, your deposit could be slightly different. Your deposit could be up to 50%. So we could have said on this video, the minimum required minimum deposit is from 10% all the way to 50% when we're talking about everybody who's here at the TJ Tribe. But let's talk about South African residents. It's 10 to 20, it's 0 to 20%. I'm saying zero because it's possible, right? It just depends on how you're managing that. So in South Africa, my good friends, the minimum deposit for a home loan typically starts at around 0%, right? For first-time home buyers, because there's also other products that you can kick in, the flips, I think the flips have changed their name, yeah. First-time home buyers, and all the way to around about 20% for South Africans to close off a deal, and you're a foreigner all the way to 50%. However, depending on your financial profile and the type of property, and I want to emphasize on that, the type of the property also plays a huge role in terms of whether the bank would require a deposit. So let me give you another example, and this is going to be a curveball, right? I'm buying a property for 2 million rand, but I'm buying it for 1.2. The property value is 2 million, I'm buying it for 1.2. Everything else is great. The bank is going to give me 100%. Why? Because they can see the value of the property that they are buying into, and they can see how much. However, I've also had an instance where the bank, I was buying a property for 600,000 not so long ago. 600,000, it's a small 2-bed 1-bath, and I was buying it for 180, I think it was, and the bank gave me like 80% loan to value, and I was like, whoa. I pushed back a little bit. I went back to the bank with my bond originator, and I then asked for the full market value of the property. So you see what I did there? I went back and I asked for the full market value. And then they say to me, we will give you 80% of the full market value. So they gave me, where's my calculator? Okay, no calculator at this stage. I don't have my phone with me now, but here is 80% of 600,000. How much is that, my good friends? So there you are, my good friends. I pushed back and I said to the bank, could you register the property on the market value? And they say, yes, they could be. So instead of giving me 80% on the asking price, they then gave me 80% on the market value of 600, which then translated into 480,000. So by just buying this properties, my good friends, I was able to make a bit of money. There you go, right? But obviously I need to pay off the debt. So if that property can wash itself, it's a 2-bed 1-bath, there's no way I'm going to make profit on 480 because my tenant would be around about maybe about 8,000. So I'm not going to be making some great money on it. But the bottom line is that maybe I can use this money on another project. Maybe I can use this money for reno if I'm wanting to sell. There's many ways you can do it. So as we are talking, the concept of what is the minimum requirement or for a home loan, you can see there's many aspects to it. So I'm hoping that you have learned a little bit here on how we can navigate this. So until we meet again on the next video, do not forget to share these videos. As they come by, don't forget to share. So until we meet again on the next video, it is I, your boy, TJ. Happy investing.